Call the meeting to order. Today is Monday, March 3rd, 2014. We're meeting for the purposes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council. I would ask that you all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Spencer, I'd ask that you call the roll to establish a quorum.
Gudenkopf. Here. Deuter. Here. Dunn.
Here.
Leader.
Here.
Polumsky. Graham.
Here.
Hipskin. Absent. York.
Here.
Levin.
Here.
Healy.
Here.
Honquist. Absent. Kennedy.
Here.
Mulliner.
Here.
Wagner.
Here.
12 present, 2 absent.
12 present, 2 absent. We have a quorum. On to agenda item number 2, written receipt of communications from the public. Is there anybody in the audience at this time who has any written communications they would like to submit? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll move on. Public forum. This is a portion of our meeting where anybody in the public has an opportunity to address the dais, specifically the chair. We ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. If you go over 3 minutes, we'll give you a gentle reminder. Clerk Spencer, is there anybody who signed up for public forum this evening?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have 3 people that signed up, and we'll start with Claude Pagash, 566 West Gladys.
My name is Claude Pagash, 566 West Gladys. Oh, what fools we residents be. I had the dubious honor of attending the Zoning and Planning Commission's meeting on the Addison parking garage. One soon realizes that the vote was predetermined when a committee has a difficult time discussing a subject and about the parking garage and can only find time for flower boxes and paving brick to be before their vote. They would have saved themselves and the residents much anguish if they had sat down and then taken the predetermined vote. I had an individual who told me I was dumb as a box of rocks if I believed that the residents in any way could influence any action taken by the Elmhurst City Council or their committees. He may be right, for I've come to the conclusion that it is a government of the few, for the benefit of the few, and paid for by the many, the residents. The city would be better off if they set up themselves like Hertz and purchased vehicles in bulk instead of a couple on every agenda. I am afraid to ask how long this will continue. By this time, every member of the city government must have a car or a truck, or is it the city is buying next year's models? That meeting with zoning and pathetic gentlemen was pathetic. The discussion had nothing to do with the building itself. It was 2 hours of wasted time. And if that is all the residents can expect from a committee that turned it down the first time and discussed nothing but maybe Metro riders wouldn't be on the parking garage.
Mr. Pagash, you're at your 3 minutes. I'd ask you to wrap it up.
Yeah, I will. I hope this council, or the other committee that receives the information, shows a little more respect for the residents.
Lee Freitag, 543 Comstock.
Good evening, Mayor, and members of the council. I live on Comstock and want to continue my support and advocacy for the Comstock Sidewalk Project. While it was a rather narrow vote, those of us who support the sidewalk know the importance of providing safe passage for our families and children, to schools, to public parks and churches, the importance of the improvement in our property value by the addition of the sidewalks, and the sense of greater community with us within our small pocket of Elmhurst up on Comstock. So thank you to you, the council, the Public Works Committee, and all those who continue to shepherd this project through the process. Thank you.
Michael Cremery, 570 West Crockett.
Michael Cremery, 570 West Crockett. I'd like to bring attention to item 5.6 on the consent agenda, and I would strongly encourage the committee and council to seriously consider the use of improved receptacles to increase recycling in the downtown area. As a city, we claim to be green, and we want to be a very nice-looking downtown, and I feel that the example presented by Alderman Braum should be considered with the utmost respect. Thank you.
That's it.
Oh, very good. That's it for everyone who has signed in. Is there anyone in the audience? Anyone? I see Ms. Sullivan's got her hand up. Is there anyone else? Okay, Ms. Sullivan, I'd ask you to approach the microphone.
Good evening. Today is NPC International Badge Day. And sorority women across the country and across the world are wearing their badges in support of their sorority membership and letting people know the good works of their organizations. They do a lot for philanthropy and leadership and educational opportunities for women. And so today we wear our badge in support of that. Additionally, Elmhurst Panhellenic is busy getting ready for Wild for Fashion that will be held Thursday at the Wilder Mansion from 6 to 10 p.m. It's a fundraiser that provides scholarships to local women, mostly on the basis of need, activities in school, their educational background, etc. Those women are attending college or other vocational training after high school. And so it's a really great event, and I hope people would like to go to it. It's available at elmhurstpanhellenic.com. You can get links to the invitation. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience did not have an opportunity to sign up or sign in for our public forum who wishes to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 4, announcements. Are there any announcements this evening? Alderman Deuter.
Thank you, Mayor. This announcement is for all residents, but particularly for First Ward residents who may be directly affected by the racecourse. On Sunday, March 16th, downtown Elmhurst will be awash in a sea of green as hundreds of leprechauns run and walk the streets for the Lucky Leprechaun 5K. The certified and chip time race will start at 9 a.m. and benefits the Elmhurst YMCA. The course includes 1st Street and 2nd Street from downtown to West Avenue, and portions of York, Addison, West Avenue, and Bonnie Bray Avenue. York Street between 1st and 2nd will close at 7:30, and the entire race route will be closed from 8:50 until the course is swept after runners have passed. All streets should be open no later than 10:30. And more information and registration is available at luckyleprechaun5k.com.
Okay, Clerk Spencer.
Just want to announce early voting began today here in council chambers, and it will continue until March 15th. We have extended hours. Please note, pass it on to all your neighbors and friends. Voting, you can early vote right here, Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., and on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The election judges talked to me right before the council meeting and wanted me to pass on that they were very pleased at the amount of people that came through today. They said they had approximately over 60, so maybe it doesn't sound like a lot to us, but to them, they said it was very successful. So just please remember the extended hours, and if you care to early vote, right here at Council Chambers, remember to have be a resident of DuPage and have an ID with you. Thank you.
Okay, any other announcements? Alderman Mulliner.
This Saturday is the St. Patrick's Day Parade. Just a reminder to everybody, it's on Spring Road. So if you live in that area, just be aware that the Spring Road will close at 9:30 in the morning and should reopen again, I believe, at 1:30 in the afternoon. So please come and enjoy the parade with us.
Any other announcements? Seeing none, we'll move on. Consent agenda, agenda item number 5. At this time, is there anybody who wishes to have any item removed from the consent agenda for further comment or discussion? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed on our agenda. Motion by Alderman Deuter, second by Alderman Dunn. Clerk Spencer.
Deuter.
Aye.
Dunn.
Aye.
Leader.
Aye.
Polumsky.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Pipskin, absent. York.
Aye.
Levin.
Aye.
Healy.
Aye.
Conquist, absent. Kennedy.
Aye.
Mulliner.
Aye.
Wagner.
Aye.
12 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent.
12 ayes, 0 nays. That motion carries. Agenda item number 6, reports and recommendations of appointed and elected officials. Mayor Morley. A couple of announcements, or a couple of reports. Just this last Saturday, I attended the President's Breakfast at Elmhurst College. Dr. Alan Ray, it's very similar to the State of the City address that I give. Dr. Alan Ray gave basically his State of the College address, and several elected officials joined me. Alderman Gutenkopf, Alderman Levin, and Alderman Deuter, I think, were there, and Alderman York. I have had an opportunity to talk to Alan Ray a couple of times, Dr. Ray, since I've been mayor, and it was also mentioned in his speech. Elmhurst College is a great school, but they do want to continue to get more involved in the community and with the city, and those are some of the sentiments he expressed, and I certainly encourage that. City Manager Grabowski will be announcing an upcoming event they have. I also, on the same day, this Saturday, I attended a get-together with my fellow DuPage mayors out in Glen Ellen. We met with Senator Mark Kirk, and he brought us. He listened to our concerns or questions. He also brought us up to speed on the Elgin O'Hare Expressway and also the heroin epidemic that we are facing here in DuPage County. And it was a great forum. It gave a lot of the mayors an opportunity. Rich Jorgensen was also there, among others, and several county board members. And it gave the group a forum to not only discuss some of the impact that the Elgin O'Hare Expressway is going to have, but also some of the things that our fellow communities are doing to communicate the heroin challenge that we are facing. Finally, we have DuPage Mayors and Managers is doing a ride along down to Springfield. They've changed things up a little bit. DuPage Mayors and Managers is attempting to send what I'll call a delegation of mayors and managers once a month, in addition to the large ride-along we do once a year. City Manager Grabowski and I are going tomorrow to Springfield to discuss one of the things that was just passed on our agenda this evening, item 5.11, the legislative action plan. In addition, I know that City Manager Grabowski has been trying to set up meetings with IEMA and see what we can do about getting additional flooding funding. And then, Jim, when's the larger ride out?
April 8th and 9th.
We're doing a ride down April 8th and 9th. In the past, we've done that, and aldermen are certainly invited. Several aldermen have done that. I've done it. It's a really good experience. Not only do you get to meet your local legislators, you kind of get an insight on how Springfield works. You have to see it to believe it. And I think that's it for me. City Manager Grabowski.
Thank you. As a follow-up to that, we'll get information out to the aldermen about the big drive down, and then you can let us know if you're able to make that. A few things that I have to report on. Last Thursday, we held the visioning workshop as part of the North York Corridor Plan. There were a number of aldermen that were there. It was, I would characterize it as successful. Certainly, the more people, the better, but we had 6 full tables of discussion, and the consultants were pleased with the input that we received. So there'll be more to follow on that one with their report. This morning, Alderman Kennedy, Alderman Polomsky, and I met with the Park District as part of our continued stormwater discussions. We all thought it was a very productive meeting that we had this morning. We were able to talk through a number of questions that the Park District had, focus on a couple of issues, and get some direction moving forward, set a future date to meet in just a couple of weeks as we get more information available. So very productive. Alderman Kennedy, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, just add, we've been continuing to have meetings with not only the Park District, but the school board on the subject of stormwater. I think here in the last month, we've made more progress with each of those groups. More than anything, just getting them educated on what the Burke report has said, what some of their alternatives might be, and having them come to the understanding that many of us have come to is the need to be able to potentially use park land and school land to improve playability on those playing surfaces, and also have a benefit to the residents in those areas from a flooding standpoint. So there's a lot of pieces and parts that still need to be understood, and prioritization that needs to come about, but we're making progress, and it's good progress. Thank you.
A couple more items. This Thursday, the museum will host a member donor reception starting at 6 p.m. You should have received those invitations already. And then something the mayor mentioned earlier, this Friday, Elmhurst College is sponsoring their government forum. The city has room for anyone who would like to attend, on any of the aldermen. That starts at 7 a.m. registration, 7:30 breakfast, and I believe 8 o'clock program. Sure to get you out by 10 o'clock is what they promise. So if you would like to come, please send me an email, or Aaron or Ellen. Remember. Thank you.
Okay. Any other reports and recommendations from elected officials? Alderman Bram.
Mr. Mayor, I don't know if you or City Manager Grabowski would like to expand, if there's anything to expand on about the information you've received about the Elgin O'Hare progress. It's very vital, obviously, to the city of Elmhurst as a whole, but potentially could be a revenue-driving force, I guess, depending on the accessibility or the off-ramp of 294 and what will happen with the ring road. So was there anything of note other than...
You know what? That's a good question, Alderman Bram. It's such a complex issue. I think most people are aware. I think the program, the entire Western Access budget is somewhere in the neighborhood of $3.6 billion. And the federal government has agreed to put in $3.3 billion, which sounds like a lot until you turn around to the towns and say you need $300 million. And that's what really a lot of the hard work has been going on. There's been prioritization. So, for example, there's been some loosening up of the federal funds through Tiger grants. So we were made aware that there's $25 million in Tiger grants available. And then $300 million is a lot of money for the local towns to come up with, but a lot of that comes in streetscaping, road improvement, stuff like that. So that number, there's been a commitment over $100 million for a lot of the towns that are involved. So the gap is narrowing. It's down to $200 million. There is still on, and things change a little bit, but certainly still on the in the plans is the southbound exit on 294 to exit onto that frontage road in front of McMaster Car and allow for eastern access for those people exiting. So it's a slow process. A lot of it was an update on the funding. It's coming slowly, and a lot of the towns shared about you have to have shovel-ready projects, much like anything that comes with the government, with federal money. So when these Tiger grants are available, City Manager Grabowski and I have talked about this. We keep trying to push that access on southbound 294 to the forefront. It's probably our prime. It's the largest impact that will be had for this community. So that's about where it is. It really was about funding updates, and it's coming, but it comes slowly. And when it does, they kind of ask the communities where they can pitch in.
Thank you. So there's no disruption to the current schedule for any of the project then?
No disruption, but it is driven by funding, and when that funding comes out, we all kind of get in line, and we're not necessarily the ones who chooses it, but we are primed to be in line for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Or reports, I should say. Other business, agenda item 7. Are there any other business at this time? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Alderman Gutenkopf, second by Alderman Wagner. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.